weird as hell. Three, two,
All right, great.
one.
Oh, sorry. Let me get my stuff together. All right, so man, that was something else, wasn't it? First of all, let me thank everybody who made it in here. Um, I really, really appreciate the support of you coming. You could be anywhere else, but you've chosen to be with us tonight, right? It's a big deal. So thank you for being intentional. So without further ado, I see everybody's mics are muted. So thank you very much. The microphones are super sensitive. So out of respect to our guest, remaining on mute would be awesome. All right. So tonight's the season finale where this is show number 11. We're going to wrap it up for a couple of weeks. I want to thank everybody again. All my regulars, all my new people, thanks for coming out to support. Um, the queen is here. All hail the queen, right? So 504 Queen, I think, has had an impact on a lot of people in this space. She's her purpose through trauma is about love, right? She's going to share her experiences. She's going to talk about love, and I know she's shown a lot of love to a lot of people in this room. So we are really, really appreciative of having this beautiful soul bless the stage and tell her story. So, without further ado, all hail the Queen. Queen, come on out.
What the fuck?
What is Thank you. Stage is
Hey,
yours, Queen.
Heather.
Y'all
All
niggas lame
right.
as hell. Let me get out of here.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I want to give a special shout out to Rupert for having me on this stage. And I want to thank you all for being here tonight with me. Thank you for following this crazy little travel situation. You bared with me, and it's going to be fruitful. Um, in the metaverse, you all know me as a 504 Queen Bee. But to my mama, the government, and Sally Mae, I'm Sean, just like my boy Dot, SHAWN. And you're going to get to know me on a personal level. Um, in the metaverse, you can be anything that you want to be. You can be an alter ego of yourself, somebody that you don't have the courage to be in your physical world, or you can be an extension of who you actually are. I chose to be an extension of who I am. And that's somebody who promotes love and light and who's on a healing journey, and somebody who is accountable for all the wrong that they've done and is living a life of atonement. So, with that being said, I decided that in the midst of creating different worlds, I wanted to create the Healing House. It has not opened yet, but it will. Um, and the reason for that Healing House is because it is through shared experiences that we grow. So, tonight I'm going to be extremely transparent because a wise man once said that Hove did that, so hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that. So, hopefully, something that I share with you all tonight can spark your own healing journey or
Girl,
keep
I
you.
cannot hear. I can't hear anything.
Can y'all hear me? Show a confetti. Can everybody hear me? Because,
Yeah, just put all your
okay.
mics on mute, please. Thank you.
All right. So, for me, the Healing House is a safe space, a place for you to detox emotionally and to be fed spiritually. And it allows you and I to both be teacher and student simultaneously because, again, that's where growth starts. Will Smith once said that you don't build a wall, you build a perfect brick. You lay it down perfectly, and then you lay down another one, and then you have a wall. So, whereas I do want to attack the bigger issues that's within the Black community, the Black and Brown community, we have to start with self. So on Wednesdays, we're going to have Black Table Talks where we're going to have these family matter discussions where we're actually being accountable for what we are doing and how we're showing up in the world because how we show up in the world shapes the world. So with that, I want to get into a bit of story time. In December 2020, I broke up with a boyfriend. He cheated, but there were a dozen reasons why I should have broken up with him before then. But that was the motivation for me to move forward. But I started sitting down thinking, Why is it that I'm going through a cycle of all these toxic, traumatic relationships with these people? And I had to think that the common denominator was me. So after I reflected on it, I made an intentional decision to be abstinent. And at first, it was a protest because I was tired of men, not giving up on them completely, just tired. But I found my power in it because with that, I started gaining clarity. So for 2 years now, I've been on that celibacy, that celibacy road, and I'm proud because I've learned so much about myself, things that I didn't know because I never took the time to heal. I never took the time to see myself. I was always willing to look at somebody else and what they were doing in conjunction to me, and that didn't allow me the opportunity to reclaim my power. So, considering that the mate that we choose affects so much in our life, from the choices that we make, how we see ourselves spiritually, how we love ourselves, how successful we are, how we deal with traumatic experiences, I realized that I had to make better decisions. So, with that being said, I decided, okay, I can do shadow work because now I don't have no low frequency interruptions. Somebody who I'm saying, where is he? What is he doing? What chick is he with? What's going on over here? Now I can put the focus on me as I should. And doing shadow work is hard. And I've come to terms with parts of me that I don't like, and I've been hurt and I've cried, and it is what it is, but it's important. Um, I'm the youngest of 3 children. My mom, housewife, father, military, high ranking official, so he was never really home. So our family of 5 was typically a family of 4. If I was 5, my brother was 6. I'm sorry, if I was 5, my brother was 11, and my sister was 12. When I'm 12, my brother's 18, my sister's 19. So there was always an age gap. So they never had interest in me or what it was that I was doing. So technically, I was literally alone. Um, my mom and my father divorced when I was 8. So that made my mom a working mom, and she was out of the house. So the only person that I truly had was my brother and my sister. Now, my sister resented my mom for the mere fact that she made her a pseudo mom. She had to take care of me, feed me, wash me, just the typical firstborn syndrome issues. So we had a strained relationship. And my brother, I didn't fool with him because that was my brother. I didn't play with him. So with that, my mom's out of the house and she's working, surviving like the typical parents then and even now. So I was predisposed to sex at about 8 years old. My sister at that time already had a child because she had gotten pregnant at a very early age. And so we didn't have that sister bond. Again, my brother, he's a teenager and he's doing his thing, so we didn't have a bond. But I'm watching everything that's going on around me. And my mom is out of the house because she's working, providing, doing the best that she can. And my brother and all of his friends would always be at the house. And I was curious and I saw a lot. And no one talked, no one spoke with me and told me anything about what I was seeing and what I was experiencing because children would be seen and not heard. So there was a string of girls coming in and out constantly. And after a certain point, I think when I was 13 years old, my brother was like, he had this conversation with me and he said, I don't want you to be like none of these hoes you see coming in and out this house. He was like, don't let no nigga run no game on you. Don't let no nigga run no train on you. You got to be in control. That was his way of loving me. So I took that information, not really knowing how to process that, but that's what I took. So that's what, that was his pseudo daddy talk to me at 13. So when 14 came, because I have this insatiable need to love and be loved, I had my first boyfriend. We're going to speed that up. I ended up sleeping with him. I wanted the love. I wanted everything that I didn't get because, again, I am the youngest in a household where I'm ignored. So I get with this guy named Thaddeus. He told me everything I wanted to hear. I gave him myself, and it was uneventful. When he realized that there was going to be no second time, he dropped me. I had no one to share that experience with. So I kept that to myself. So moving forward, like most girls, I had a crush on my brother's friend, one of his friends. And I fantasized about marrying him and having his kids and just having this grand life with him. Now, granted, he's an adult, but to me, he was who I always wanted since I was 8 years old. You know, the typical girl dream. And I didn't know it then, but he was grooming. So the whole time I was having a crush on him, he was setting me up for it. And because no one talked to me about predators, the guys who say things like, you're mature for your age, or you're fine, or anything that makes you feel like you're a woman, I was susceptible. So when the moment arrived, he called my brother's phone, answered. He asked, was Kev there? I said, nah. So he was like, you by yourself? I said, yeah. So he said, I'm going to come through. Bet. Well, when I opened that door, him and my other brother's friend, Rodney, was there. I let them both in because I've known them all my life, basically. So me and Craig ended up having sex in my room, which if you go up the stairs, there is no door whatsoever. It's just my room, and then a few feet away is my brother's door to go into his room. So the whole time me and Craig are doing our thing, as soon as he leaves, in comes Rodney. And then Rodney he was like, well, what's up? And he's trying to pull the sheets off me. And so I'm like, Rodney, who I always looked at as a brother, I'm like, Rodney, what are you doing? Stop. And he was like, you ain't going to let me get it? And I was like, no. I said, why don't you stop? So now he's really like tussling with me, trying to get at me. And I'm scared. And I'm begging him to stop because I'm like, you are my brother, stop. So something clicked in him and he decided to stop. And when he did, he left. But what I also noticed was Craig wasn't there either. So they're my brother's partners. I still had a fire for Craig because I didn't think about him not being there to support me, protect me. So I didn't hold him accountable, but I was scared of Rodney. And I saw him every day. So I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't have a talking relationship with my mama. And I understand that she had her own childhood traumas, which prevented her from doing that. My father wasn't around. And I'm not going to shit on him about that because I don't know what happened. But here I am, scared, wondering if this situation is going to turn into something else. So I don't know who to turn to because all of my friends are children. So I talked to my brother's friend, his girlfriend at the time, and I begged her not to tell anybody anything. And she gave me her word. So I told her how Rodney tried to assault me sexually and how I was scared and I didn't know what to do. And she gave me her word and she said she wouldn't say nothing. But when the moment arrived, she did. And it just so happened to be the night that Craig slept over. So I heard a lot of tussling, a lot of furniture moving, and a lot of screaming. And I became so frightened because I knew that the jig was up. My little secret was out. And my brother called me in the room after him and Craig got into their blend. And he started to shout at me and berate me and belittle me because I became the hoe he told me not to be at 13. I'm coming. So, uh, so after he scared me to death and he kicked Craig out and he couldn't find Rodney, he told me not to look in his direction, not to talk to him. And that isolated me even more than I was already growing up to feel. All because I did something that he paraded in front of me day in and day out. I was looking for love. I wasn't looking to be used by anybody, especially his friend. I literally thought that that was the doorway to him marrying me one day. That was my child dream. But so as a growing woman, I did shadow work, and I realized that that was a very pivotal moment, which is why I shared it with you all, because I learned a few things from those people. That is taught me that boys will game you to get what you want and then be out. And Craig, he taught me that just because he mattered to me didn't mean that I'd matter to him. Rodney taught me that even the man you trust will fuck you over if opportunity presented itself. My brother taught me shame, and I began self-loathing because I had listened. Because if I would have listened to him at 13, I wouldn't have banded with the women that he now referred to me as. And Chantel, she taught me that you can't trust no women, not even with your deepest secrets. So it was at that moment that I developed a mentality of fuck these niggas and fuck these bitches too. And it was on from there. And I was ruthless. And I showed up in the world just like that. And I became my brother's little brother, the brother that he always wanted. And I was disrespecting myself, but I thought that because I was big dog like him, and I wasn't letting nobody hurt me no more, and I was doing things on my terms, that I had the game on lock. I was manipulating a lot of boys, and I was making sure that I did things on my terms, my way. I was manipulating girls because I didn't trust them either. So I was taught that you find a sucker, you lick it. And that's exactly how I was rolling. I saw my brother mistreat women, so I did the same thing. Not that I had sexual relationships with them, but I would pimp them out. Because if they were going to be stupid, somebody should get paid for it. And that's what I did at a young age because that's all I saw. That's all I heard. And boys, even though I developed a promiscuous attitude, it was happening under my terms. So I felt good. And I didn't give a fuck about nothing because nobody gave a fuck about me. Not each time that I could have been raped, because I've been in different scenarios where that happened from people that I trusted, which further reiterated, don't trust these niggas. Girls who backstab me. So I'm like, before you can play me, I'm going to play you. So I was in a constant cycle of toxicity. Constant. And what ended up happening is one day I met a boy who genuinely loved me, which is all I ever really wanted. And he showed me something. He showed me something amazing about myself. And I was like, I don't have to be ruthless and conniving and manipulating. And I don't have to do none of the shit that I've been doing. And then after 2 years of having this type of exchange, he went into emotional depression because he wasn't making the money that he felt he should have been making for us. And as a result, he triggered that emotional abandonment that I suffered from, my daddy not being around. Because I never thought I had daddy issues, but not only do I have daddy issues, but I got mommy issues too. So now I'm reverting back to the lifestyle that I knew, where I felt safe. And that's fucking over people and getting me while having him, because I needed some level of security because I didn't want that to go away. And I did this for a number of years. I've accumulated a lot of toxic situations, relationships while having him until karma came back around by the form of a girl who used to be a friend of mine who got with him. And that opened up a whole new box. Because on top of my aggression and every other male toxic trait that I developed from my brother and his friends, and not feeling safe, and everything that I've experienced, now I got some very violent and homicidal thoughts. And let's keep in mind, I have no one to talk to because every female friend that I developed were just as dysfunctional as me. So nobody was speaking life into me. Nobody was telling me that what I was doing was wrong. Nobody was guiding me and giving me great advice. This was me just going off muscle memory. And everything I've ever learned was negative. So, um, after my bouts with him and her, which lasted longer than I care to share, but after my bouts with him, I realized I had to step away from that situation because um, I wanted to knock his head off and hers too. And I literally daydreamed about how I was going to make that happen. That's how toxic I was. And again, everybody who I talked to was on that same type of time. When I called up one of my friends and was like, such and such happened, they were ready to ride for me. And I thought that was love, having somebody who's down to kick a bitch ass or run through this and do this over here, all the stuff that can get you locked up. I thought that was love because I didn't get real love at home. But I didn't put these things together. This is me doing shadow work from where I'm at right now. So after being so devastated by that situation, a light bulb went off. And I decided that it was time for me to make some changes because I didn't want to experience that level of hurt. So I went from giving no fucks to giving too many fucks. And from there, I met my ex-husband, Carl. And I overcompensated by giving him too much love, too much understanding, too much of my time, too much of myself to the point where I didn't even know who I was. And I did all of this because I gave so little to everybody else in my life. So now, so my ex-husband, he taught me a lot in regards to myself, but it was very, very traumatic. And I'll say this, if anybody has ever or is currently going through domestic violence, you don't have to be like me and keep that shit to yourself. There's somebody you can talk to. I'm somebody you could talk to if you need me. When a girl doesn't have a father's love, she's very susceptible to what comes dressed as love. And when she doesn't have a girlfriend, which her mother is her first friend, when she doesn't have that bond, a lot of devastating things happen within her own DNA makeup. And I was a product of both. Not putting the blame on nobody because everybody has their own shit. But this was just the cause I was dealt with. And this is how I played it. So my ex-husband, he was addicted to heroin. And I was super green with that. Like I had a lot of street knowledge on a lot of shit because I was in it heavy. But I didn't know nothing about drugs. So when he came doped out, I just thought it was his attitude. It was just a regular New Orleans dude just going through something. That's just what it is. And because I didn't know how to love myself, because I didn't know how to see the signs of when it was time to walk away, when love was no longer being served, I stayed. One of the most traumatic things that happened in that relationship was he went out with one of his cousins, came home late in the morning. We're married at this point, and I chose to marry him because I wanted to win. I felt that if I could marry him, my love would change. You know, the negative things about him because I was changing, and I know that if I wasn't, any good to people, and I'm now trying to do better in my life, he could do the same thing. So I married him shortly after Katrina because trauma has a way of making you do things that under normal circumstances you wouldn't. So I already lost a lot with the hurricane. I didn't want to lose him, even though he wasn't good. Now, before the marriage, he never put his hands on me. But if I was able to love myself, I could have saw the signs. So, anyway, he was arguing with me about why he didn't have his shoe on. And I'm like, I may not be cheating on you, but I cheated. So I know what the signs are. So we arguing back and forth. And I didn't know, but he was already, on his issue. So he was high. So we're arguing, or rather, he's arguing with me, and he's demeaning me, and he's going off on me, and he triggers me, and he puts me right back to that point where my brother was berating me and making me feel shame. So I stood there and I took it until I couldn't take it no more. And I said one thing to him that he didn't like. And all I know is he balled his fist and he punched me, and he knocked me into the wall, and he punched me so hard, blood started running out of my eye. And all I saw was like a faucet of this happening. And then he hit me again. And from that moment, I went into the bathroom because I'm in shock. Nobody ever put their hands on me. I've been mistreated, but nobody ever put their hands on me. So I don't know how to handle this either. So this is another thing that I'm going through that I don't know how to cope with or deal with. So he comes in the bathroom, and my ex-husband was really a wild one. He always kept things on him. So he had 2 9mm, and he pulled them out and he pointed them to my head. And he said, "Talk that shit, bitch." He said, "What's up? I don't hear you talking." He said, "I'll empty both of these clips in your motherfucking ass and tell them people that you committed suicide." And I said, "Carl, move your guns out my face." And the angels always be with me during these times because he did. And eventually, being doped up, he fell asleep. And I left. That was my reaction, leave, because I'm scared. But because I never had, again, someone to talk to, someone to put real love inside of me, someone to help me identify where I was going wrong in life and what was happening, I returned to him because he begged me. He apologized, and I wanted to believe him. And when you deal with abandonment issues and when you deal with untreated wounds, you'll go back to the very thing that hurts you because it's familiar. And that's what I did. He promised me he'd get help, but he never did. So I spent the rest of that year stacking up more traumas, stacking up more drama, more heartache, more hurt, until I saw him pull out a gun on his brother. And I was like, yeah, if he gonna off his brother, yeah, he gonna off me too. So I decided I was gonna take his life because I was tired of living in fear. I was tired of the up and down. 1 minute we're good, next minute we're not. And it just so happened that when he was about to leave, he took his guns with him. And so I said, all right, I'll just catch him when he come back. But he got arrested that night. So instead of me killing him, because I'm not a killer, I thought about it a lot, but I'm not one. But what I did was I packed up my shit when he got arrested. And I left for good this time. And I headed to Texas. People always say, did Hurricane Katrina make you leave? And I said, nah, the hurricane was my husband. Because I didn't want to be one of those girls I read about in the paper, the ones who leave their boyfriends and then they end up getting murked at their job because he can't find her nowhere else. I didn't want to be her. So I moved to Texas and I left all my friends, everything I knew, just to get away. But I went right back. I allowed him to come to me, scared and all. Sounds crazy? Maybe so, but it was a reality. This is what happens when you don't heal. This is what happens when you don't have somebody that you can talk to. This is what happens when you don't know what to do. You repeat vicious cycles. So he came out to Texas because he missed me and I missed him too. I missed the good times, not the other shit, just the good times. And I thought maybe if he recognized what he had in me, he'd better. But I never understood the dynamics of heroin. I never understood the dynamics of any drug, any popping pills, things that are glorified now. I didn't understand how it chemically changes you. So when he came It was beef. After a while, it was a honeymoon for a second, but it was beef. After a while, he went back to New Orleans. We separated for a year. And guess what happened? Same cycle. I was only able to break that cycle when my life came on the line once again. He put a knife to my abdomen, a butcher knife, told me my life didn't mean shit. And it made me think, how can somebody I love think so little of me? But I never thought, why do I think so little of myself? Never occurred to me. So, fast forward, there was a lot of things that happened, but what motivated me to leave him for good, because I did, thank God, was we was in the kitchen and I was going off because I got a mouth on me, and I was going off on him because I was fed up. He slapped me so hard it felt like a punch, but he slapped me. And I promised him in a previous conversation if he ever put his hands on me again, it was going down. I was scared of him, but I was tired of his shit. So when he put his hands on me, I had to make good on my promise. So I punched him in his mouth, and it drew blood, and I instantly wanted to throw up the white flag, but it was too late. So he already had me against the wall, and he was going to throw a solid blow. I ducked, I uppercut him. I'm super scared now because I got 2 licks to his none. So he's going to kill me because, see, I got all my senses. He don't. So he ended up kicking my ass. And it was at that moment that I realized, okay, I cannot love somebody else more than I love myself. But I still didn't know how to do this. So it was only by the grace that he decided that he didn't want to lay hands on me anymore. But he'd done some optical damage to me to the point where when I went to the doctor, I thought I was going to have some type of surgery because I used to drive at night. I used to jump and veer off into the next lane because my lights were flashing in my eye where he hit me. He damaged my nerves. And I was like, yeah, this is it. So I managed to get him out. And I don't know if y'all aunties ever told y'all this bullshit, but they used to say, to get over one nigga, you got to get under another. So I went back to my old cycle. And I was like, I got him out my life. I'm good. Never stopped to heal, never stopped to evaluate myself. So now I'm repeating the same things, but different people. I'm dating the same type of man, same energy, just a different face. And I'm hurting myself. And I'm crying on the inside because I want love. And I don't know how to give it, and I don't know how to receive it, and I don't know how to strip away all this negative shit that keeps following me. So I'm just in a fucking cycle. So we'll go ahead and we'll fast forward because again, I've been through so much shit. There's not a woman in this room or beyond that can share something with me that I haven't been through. Trust me. Trust me on that. Whether I was the one who gave it or I was the one who got it, I've been through it. And the passion that I have to love on people now is because I want to give what I didn't get. It's important to me. So when I step to Smile Honey Child and I'm like, Queen, you're beautiful and thank you so much. And how can I be of service? I mean that because there are so many women in the past who don't have that outlook on me. And if they tell you that I was a villain, believe them. There's so many men who I've misused and abused. So if they say, yeah, she a bitch, believe them. But who I am right now is a different woman, a growing woman. It's because of that pain. It's because of the experience that I've been through that shaped me to who I am right now. So as we continue to go through a little piece of my life, I had a lot of knowledge on shit, but I wasn't applying it. So let me say this for the record. Knowledge is not power. It's a misconception. Applied knowledge is power. So I had knowledge of things, but I wasn't applying it. Therefore, I was just there. You know what I mean? It's like and what I mean by that knowledge isn't power if I know a car is coming down the street and I still coming down the road and I still choose to cross the street, I got knowledge that this car is coming, but I still keep going forward and it hits me. What good did my knowledge do me? Didn't do me any good. But if I notice that that car is coming and then I apply that knowledge and say I'm going to stay on the sidewalk until it passes, now I'm powerful. So, so I had all this knowledge, street knowledge, game, all of that, but I wasn't applying it, or I wasn't applying the right things. So eventually, still in this phase of wanting love and not knowing how to receive it, not knowing how to give it properly, not knowing a lot of shit, life deals me another blow. So I'm in another toxic relationship with a cat who gives no cares about me whatsoever. It was obvious. And I get some devastating news that I had cancer. And I was like, damn, I've been fucked my whole life. And I got cancer too. With type. You got 2 cancers. You got ovarian and uterine cancer. What? So you mean to tell me what? I can't have children? He said, we'll try to save part of your we'll take 1 fallopian tube and we'll see if we can get rid of the cancer when we remove all the tumors. That surgery that should have been 1 day turned into 2 weeks. And the guy that I was with, the one who I loved more than I loved myself yet again, came and saw me 1 time. 1 time while I was in the hospital. So that frequency that I've been set on about thinking that people are going to abandon me, it played itself out yet again. Because I've never taken the time to address the roots and to heal. Therefore, what you put out in the universe, it has this funny way of coming back to you and materializing until you get it, until you figure it out. So I'm in the hospital and I'm alone and I got cabin fever. And if you know what cabin fever is, you know that you're going stir crazy. And yet, that's something else I dealt with. I told my mom, I told my brother, I told my sister, and then I ain't tell too many other people. Because nobody has ever really been there for me in my life. So I didn't know how to open up and ask for help. So now he removes everything. And one of my holes in my heart is not having children because I feel like I was robbed. Because I feel like I wasted a lot of my life choosing the wrong men because I grew up in a male I had a lot of male toxicity around me. And I adopted their mentality. So I was harming myself and others. But I didn't have children because I knew I wasn't right and the situations I was in wasn't right. And now I got cancer and now I can't have kids. And I just want to take a moment to say that it was divine who spoke with me some weeks ago and gave me a different perspective spiritually. Why there is a blessing in some negative things that happen in your life. So that I can begin healing the fact that I can't biologically have a child. So I want to say thank you, Divine, for being the type of female that I never really saw coming up. For giving me love. For listening to me. For crying with me. For making me feel. For making me feel like a whole woman. because I struggled with that. I struggled with feeling like a complete woman because of my inability to have children. But what you told me is helping me. So thank you for loving me enough to share that information. It was powerful. Trust me, I'm healing from that. You helped me. You're helping me. My oncologist told me that in 6 months, if I didn't do chemo, I would die. I decided to try a homeopathic way of curing the cancer. And I was single because I left the guy alone because that was too devastating of a situation to go through and still remain with him. And for the first real time, my sister embraced me and wanted to come back and be with her so she could help me because cancer has a way of waking people up. So that relationship I never had with her because she resented me, or actually she resented my mom, and it caused a divide between her and I because she had to be my mom and that wasn't her job, and it wasn't. Now I got my sister. So I'm exercising, I'm eating different, I'm thinking different, and I'm feeling good. And 6 months turned into 4 years, and I'm good, right? But then I fall back into the familiar pattern. Let's not get excited yet, JP. It ain't over. I get back into the familiar pattern of loving somebody more than I love myself. And I started doing all the wrong things, and I reversed in my healing journey. And so now we speed it right back up to last year. The cancer came back. I don't know if you all know how the immune system works and how you can break yourself down on the cellular level by the foods you eat, the thoughts you hold, the secrets you keep, the anger inside of you. All that toxicity wears your organs down. And when you live the kind of life that I lived, where it was cutthroat city, I mean, every chance I got, I was fucking over somebody so they wouldn't fuck over me. It ain't that I wanted to do it. It was to keep them at bay. But I wish somebody would have sat me down and said, let's breathe. Let's drink water. Let's say some positive affirmations. You are everything after I am. You can choose this battle. Gave me some real moral codes. Taught me how to love myself. Hell, taught me how to take care of myself as a woman. I didn't even know the simple shit. I wasn't even told how to properly take care of my body when you have a cycle. That's how little I was taught to. So the cancer is back. And I may get upset, but I don't see it as a negative. And the reason why is because you can allow a bad situation to work for your good. Do I want to be, fighting this cancer battle right now as we talk? Absolutely not. But it focuses me to put my attention on what matters. And that's loving you, Super. That's loving you, Smile. That's loving you, J Vanity. That's accepting you, West Side. That's respecting you, Princess Cha. That's giving you my services, KJ. That's spending countless hours on the phone with you, Twine, laughing, giving you what you need while you're giving me what I need. That's me saying, I'm going to show up for y'all in a way that no one showed up for me for real. So when I'm loving y'all and I'm laughing with y'all, that's authentic. Because I'm really working to be a better person so I could release all that bullshit that I've done. Because it don't make no sense to be with all that beefing because y'all don't know what beef is. You don't know what beef is until you find yourself in a position where you're really ready to do some time. And if y'all been through some shit like I've been through, you wouldn't want to have petty beefs and arguments with your sisters. You wouldn't want to stun on that man just because you can. You'll want to respect them. I've been through some real struggles and I'm going through a struggle right now that requires me to heal. I need to let go of my childhood trauma. I need to forgive my mother. I need to give people the same way I need them to forgive me. I have humbled myself. And there's a girl in particular who I wanted to talk to her for years, and she didn't want to talk to me. I don't know if she feared me or she didn't trust me or what. But finally, after following my social media page, she realized that my tone changed and I was a different woman from the girl she met and that she knew. And she decided to talk to me. And I had the opportunity to realize just how damaging I was. I didn't know I was anti-woman. So when y'all be with all that hating shit, talking about this broad and talking about this one to that one, all you doing is really tearing yourself down because that's you. And that's what I did. I tore females down the same way I saw them be torn down, the same way I was being torn down. And I damaged this girl, and she cried because I didn't even realize what all I did. But I became accountable for my actions, and I realized, damn, I was fucked up. And I don't want nobody within my power, if it's within my wheelhouse. I want to be able to teach something. Real life, love, respect, honor, a code. Teach y'all that shit. Y'all bragging about some goofy ass shit. Not y'all in particular, but just as a whole. The highest frequency that is in this life is love. But you can't see that or feel that if you think everybody's out to get you. And I know that we've been dealt some fucked up cards because trust me, my hand, when I look at it, it's been fucked up. But it's all on how you play it. So when I created this healing house, I created it with the mind frame that I'm heal myself and reverse this cancer holistically. I'm going to let go of everything that no longer serves me. I am going to forgive those who don't even forgive me because that's their business. I can't control that. But I'm going to do better. And I'm going to show up in the world and I'm going to be kind. And sometimes I got to curse a motherfucker out, and I'll do that too because that's the definition of a spiritual gangster. Sometimes you got to give it how it is. But overall, I'm going to love y'all. And I'm going to be there because all I got is my word because I wasn't shit before. And that toxic cycle, I'm breaking it. So if I can help you break your toxic cycle and talk to you and let you know that I'm not coming from some I'm holier than thou self-righteous place because I'm not. I learned everything I learned in the mud. I did so much shit I'm not proud of, y'all, but I'll share it all with you if it'll help you, if it'll help you grow. Because this life, this physical life is temporary, but what's permanent, what's eternal is where your soul goes. So yeah, we turning up and we partying, we having a good time, and all that's good and dandy, but it's time that we heal. Because I don't want nobody experiencing half of the shit that I've experienced and what I'm going through right now. So I shared the fact that I'm going through this cancer, this cancer journey. And it's scary because at this point, it's metastasized, which means that it's not in the original origin because I don't have a reproductive system, so it's against my colon. And when I went through that high functioning depression I spoke about on my walk, if y'all tuned into my Instagram, that was because the doctor told me that the cancer has moved into my colon and no longer is laying against it. And so it heightened my need to say, I got to remove stress out of my life. I got to remove toxic people out of my life. I got to make better decisions. I got to eat better. I got to get some fresh air. I got to drink water. And I still got to learn how to love myself because it's hard to do those wonderful things when you don't have the proper blueprint. So that healing house ain't just for y'all. It's for me too. And anybody who has the courage to reveal their sickness, whatever that may be, so that you can heal and live a better life for yourself and your seeds that are coming up that are looking at you, watching the things that you say, do, how you live. We could do this together. So With that, y'all, I'm gonna open the floor up for any questions. There's not a question that you can ask me that's too personal, um, or any statement that you wish to give. Um, I'm open to it. Twan.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm so proud of you. It takes a lot of courage to do what you did, to be that transparent to everybody. Like I couldn't imagine myself doing that, honestly. And I admire you. You've helped me so much, and I have so much love for you. What you say? And I just wanted to let you know, you the shit to me. You know.
Thank you.
El Blanco, take your mic off mute.
Yo, salute, B. Um,
Thank you.
my statement is B was one of the first people I met when my cousin Dunn brought me into Horizon World. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I knew that I was gonna hang around because I was seeing how their network that was surrounded around her. Every time we met somebody that ran into her presence, I was like, okay, I was hitting them up. I would team up, I would just hit they name and save them as a friend. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, I made my own little crew because I'm not a builder, so I had to have contacts to build. But anyway, it's because of Queen, how they was how everybody was she was a nucleus around the people that was really actually active and they was all on the same wavelength. People that was open. Ran into different areas where people didn't want to talk to you and things like that. But when I met you, so now by knowing your story, I got a better understanding on your energy, right? Now,
Hmm.
after saying that, what I want to tell you is, a lot of people don't know it's been cures for cancer, natural cures for cancer for since the 50s, right? And one of the
Hmm.
main things that they do out west because they know about this, those people they get what you call vitamin C, intravenous vitamin C.
Hmm.
Intravenous vitamin C is when they pulverize the vitamin C down to the level of the cells. They pulverize it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's pulverized. It's vitamin C, and they deliver it through the bloodstream. And
Hmm.
typically, you have to have a certain. They know how to do it. You have to have a certain ratio that you'll keep in your system so it doesn't get too high in your system. But you keep it in there until it eats all the cancer cells. Because vitamin C
Hmm.
kills cancer cells on contact, whether it's in the brain, anywhere in the body, intravenous vitamin C. But most people don't talk about it because the industry won't let them talk about it because that'll put, the Jude Hospital, all that stuff out of business. But I just wanted to share that
Right.
information. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
Salute.
And that's definitely the benefit of revealing what you're going through because there are people who have knowledge, whether they've personally gone through it or it's information that they read about or some way, and they can share that with you and introduce you to a path that'll take you where you need to be. So I don't mind going through it. I don't. You know, I'm not questioning why me. Why not me? I have the gut to get through anything. And that's not me being brave because I'm scared. Sometimes I'm ready to die. So, so I'm scared sometimes. But I'm a soldier for real. So I come in here every day and I smile
Love
with
you.
y'all and I listen to y'all's problems. And I'm literally there because I want to be to you what I didn't have. And that's a real rap.
Oh.
Anybody got any questions?
Queen, I just want to say sorry if speaking over somebody, my fault. You are, and this is easy to say, one of the strongest people that I've met in this space.
That's right.
So far. Your energy has always from before you even started speaking. You know what I'm saying? Your energy has always been A1. It's always been pure. I've always tried to mirror your energy back to you. And I think I'm not alone when I say that because this there was probably 3 instances of this, and it took us a half hour of hopping through different ways to get here. So Like we are just reflections of everything you give us. You know what I'm saying? You strong enough to get everything, and you already know that. Like you say, you a soldier. You a no limit soldier. If we want to be, you know what I'm saying? If we want to be 100 with
Yeah,
it, so
yeah.
you know you got us. You definitely got me. If you
Mhm.
ever need to talk, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you open yourself up to be that person we could come to too, because it's easy. It's easy to talk to you. You always have the energy where it's like if you got someone on your mind, just say it type thing. You stick around longer than most. You know what I'm saying? So just keep doing what you're doing, and you know you got this community, your cousins. We here for you, type shit. That's all.
Facts.
Thanks.
Love you, Queen.
Facts.
It's amazing.
Facts.
Um, I also want to I also want to say, there's so many different things that I want to put out there, but on a positive note, this is what drives me. I turned my pain into something positive. Because if I can go back to every female that I've hurt, for real, I would do better. But since I can't change the past, all I can do is meet somebody like Hot Love and give her my best energy and let her know that I see you. Even if you don't believe me, I see you and I love you. I don't gotta know you. I love you. And when I meet people like Westside, he makes me believe that not every man is out to get me and that I'm safe. Because from the day I met him, he has always had my back. Always. And he ain't never tried to come at me greasy. Ever. Or people like Too Wavy. I feel like if someone was to approach me in the wrong way, he would stand up for me as my brother. You know what I mean? I ain't had this kind of love. Like real genuine love in the streets. I ain't had that. But I came to the metaverse and it happened to me. And y'all saved me. Because when I really felt like giving up, because I've given so much of my love and my energy away and I didn't have none for myself when I needed it, like I need now, y'all saved me. Women like Coley, who tried to be here but couldn't fit in this server. That's my sister. And I love her like I knew her all my life. She's the sister I dreamed of. Bubblegum Planet. She is who I envisioned meeting every time I said hello to a stranger. She's pure.
Facts.
Smile, honey child. Her energy makes me feel like I can be this feminine, soft energy, and there's no weakness in that.
Mm.
Y'all are showing me things that I didn't see, and it makes me feel encouraged to open a healing house so that we can come and seek mental refuge and let go. Because so many black women are hurting, so many black men are hurting, and I contributed to that. And my God, I'll spend the rest of my life as long as I'm breathing to love every person that I come in contact with. And if you want me back, that's what's up. That's your right. I'll fall back on you. But for those who are receptive, I love you. Like, I love you. And I'll say that shit over and over again. And I'll laugh with you. And I'll hold your secrets. And I won't violate you like I've been violated and like I violated in the past. I literally appreciate each and every one of you. So that's all I got.
Mocha, did you have a question?
I
wanna
just
say
wanted to say something. I'm sorry. Did I overtalk
No,
somebody?
no. No, you
Okay.
good. Go ahead.
I'm trying not to cry. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm trying not to cry again. I just wanted to thank you for being so honest and vulnerable and kind because it's rare. And I can relate to a lot of things that you said. And I have not seen a lot of black women that have just allowed themselves to say, you know what, I've done some shit and it's just not who I am. And it really resonated with me when you said it's okay for the people who don't forgive me. because you're still doing great things, you know, even if they can't see that. And when I came on this game a couple months ago, I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on with this. And I didn't mean to call it a game, but this metaverse.
Right.
And I kept, you know, hearing about 405 Queen, you know, 405 Queen. And I'm like, oh, she just has this cloud around her. But you are so grounded that the praise you get is so valid and true. And I just, like I said, I sincerely thank you because you definitely touched me and I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, sis. And I mean that. Wavy.
Wavy.
Yeah, I just want to say you got to be really strong for coming on here and let everybody know your past and telling them what you've been through so you can share everybody the love that you have now
Right.
and tell people that you can make it out of this whatever the devil's trying to get you trapped in.
Right.
And I feel you because I'm sorry for what you've been through, and I understand your pain because my mother actually been abused by my stepfather of growing up. I've seen it all, and hearing you talk like that, it was hurting me a little because I know how it feels, and I really I'm sorry for you for everything you've been through because I know how that feels, and but I'm glad God got you out of that because God is good, and He always been watching
Indeed.
you. I just want to let you
Indeed.
know that God's always been watching you, always been having protection over you, His angels,
Yes.
and you always been protected. And you always trust me. You're gonna be doing a lot of more things in life. Trust me. You know, God is good. He's always watching over you.
I
I'm glad you out of
appreciate
that
that.
stuff you've been through.
I appreciate you speaking life into me. And that's what it's about. Like, I don't know how many people I've torn down with my tongue. I mean, but I know what damage I caused myself by harboring that anger. And, you know, chronic diseases present itself when your immune system is broken down. And with all of the fear and the self doubt and the loathing and the anger, that animosity, I thought I was a real G about mine because aggressive, I led with that. You couldn't step to me wrong because I had to, you know, since no one really protected me, I had to be about mine. So if you crossed me, that was it. It was it. But God had to humble me, even though it was hurtful, but God had to humble me. And that's why when He inserted my ex husband and I ain't had that same bark, I ain't had that same bite no more, I was trying to figure out why. But it makes sense to me now. And I'm not suggesting that anybody sticks around for it, because trust me, you don't. But I also know you don't just leave, you plan your way out. Let me say that. If you are in an abusive situation, plan your way out and do it smart. And if it takes 2 weeks, get out. If it takes a year, that's when you move. You got to be smart. You got to be smart. And I'm saying it from the inside because everybody says, oh, leave, oh, leave. And then when everybody dressed in black having a second line, they mouth shut. So you got to plan your way out in that situation. What's poppin', C. Jones?
So I've caught the last bit of this, but it's already incredibly resonated with me. So I am a middle-aged white man. I'm a
Mhm.
recovering narcissist and a recovering racist. And I have hurt other people like you did. And my last relationship of 7 years, she did plan her way out. She planned it not only underneath the surface without me like knowing, but she also planned it like by giving me this is what I'm going to do in those moments, and then may you based on your story, you may have not had that. But for me, I am fully supportive of helping women learn how to get out. Because like I was someone who did that and caused that situation for someone.
Yeah.
What's possibly like a little remarkable is the love that I've gotten from a lot of the people I've actually seen in this room here, and from building communities with people where I wasn't just an isolated male. if you haven't seen the SNL video Man Park, like if you're a guy, watch it. If you're a girl, get your like guy to a man park. Um, but um, you standing up and speaking, kind of encouraging others to not allow abuse to continue when it is uncontinuable. That is what we need more of as parents and as people teaching our children. So right now, me having been an abuser, me having been a narcissist, like we are teaching our child not to, who's another like white male. We're trying our best to teach him not to follow in my footsteps.
Right.
And so I think it takes generations for society to change, but it all starts with us listening to the queen bee, hearing her truth, having it resonate in our hearts, and deciding to do something about it. So thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Can
If
I
it's
say
okay with your defense, can we have that Queen Divine go first before we get to you? Divine?
Um, I just want to say that, like, in this point of your life, I feel like very proud because you're getting it right. Like, so many people go through things in life and never get the chance to fully see life with love or redeem themselves in a sense of I'm not what I've experienced and I'm not my environment. I'm so glad that you're using your story and your voice with no shame. That's powerful. That's a woman. I don't feel like I don't feel like you lack a thing because it's not easy to be honest. So I just want to say thank you for even in your pain, even in your I wouldn't even say shame because you don't have anything to be ashamed about. Just thank you for just showing love and being transparent because that's going to make other people know that no matter what you go through, it doesn't end there. And I just feel like you're going to do great things because truth allows people to not only listen, but to look at ourselves. And I just feel like your life is about to have a whole new beginning, a whole new purpose. And I'm here for it.
And I'm here to serve. Like straight up, I'm here to serve you. That's what, relationships are about. It's a service business. If I can't benefit from you and you can't benefit from me because it's a two-way street, which has been a one-way street for a long time because, abandonment issues lead you to that. And these are the type of things that I want to help teach people, not just narcissism and abuse and homelessness, which I've been through because, I had it hard. So when I say that I've developed that concept that nobody gives a fuck about me, I carry that on my shoulder. I slept in the attic. Summers were hot as hell. Winters was cold as fuck. I took a bath in a little toy tub where I boiled water in a 2-eye burner. And I had family that was living in houses and doing that thing. But because I never knew that it was okay to go to them and talk to them, I went through homelessness by myself. Panhandling, you heard me? Walking up to people asking them for money because the money I did make went to the apartment that I was finally able to get, but I couldn't afford to eat. So I'm eating 25-cent granola bars. So I don't mind giving somebody money or supporting this person or doing that for this person because I was without. And I'm not no noble person to the point where I don't do wrong even to this day. But I believe in accountability, so I'll check myself. I'll check myself before you get to check me, because I already know when I'm wrong. But I've been through so much, y'all. I know that it wasn't just to do it. It was with purpose. It's so that I can be transparent, so that you can become transparent and strip off that heavy garment that you've been wearing and those layers of your false protection, so you can experience the freedom, so we can rewrite how we see life, and we can start living in the fullness of peace, and we can love each other without manipulation, because that shit comes back, y'all. It comes back. So I just want to be a part of the solution. I want to love y'all. But in addition to me loving y'all, I ain't gonna even be ashamed to say this. I need y'all to love me back. What's up, defense?
This is my first time in here. Two things, two questions. First question
Yes,
is, what that little blue check mark mean on y'all head? Because I don't really know what's going on.
It means we verified.
Oh, like y'all real spill?
Yeah, we verify. We verify ourselves. We don't need anybody to verify us. We verify ourselves.
Second question is, I heard like 2/3 of kind of what y'all was talking about. Can I give you a hug?
Absolutely.
Here I come.
Come on in, bring it on in. You heard me.
Yeah.
Yay. Thank you, Black
Oh
King.
my God, love it.
Gotta keep your head up, homie.
And that's medicine. That's
Right,
medicine.
man,
That's love.
On that
I
note,
appreciate that. Straight up.
Vanity got something to say.
Oh,
Vanity.
what's
Jay Vanity,
what's happening,
up?
Furniture Queen?
Remember that day we were in Andrew's world and we were just chilling up in the VIP and something happened and you chased
I'll never
after
forget
me.
it. Yes, ma'am.
That was literally that was the one day that really showed your true stars to me, because I'm not trying to get all personal in your spotlight, but it's like I never really had a mother figure, and for someone to do what you did and actually listen and me open up and be vulnerable means a lot. And I hope you know, ever since then, you know, every time you're in a room, especially with Divine, I have to switch my attitude instantly, because I know you or her will mess me up if I come with a steady attitude in the world. And I just want to say you are loved and you're appreciated. And following off what Dot said, we literally jumped through server to server just to see you talk, girl. And you are the true queen of the metaverse, and we do love and adore you.
I appreciate you.
That's all.
Straight up.
That was so sweet.
So I ain't trying to keep y'all here all night. Just know this. If you
Yes, you
follow me
are.
on Instagram, 504 Queen B or the Healing House _VR. If you see me, I always say, know me. You're not a stranger. I don't care if we only had a 2-minute conversation. I'm here to be of service and for you to be of service to me.
I'm gonna add you
What's
right
up?
quick. I forgot.
Yo, he is funny.
Oh boy.
So I don't care what, y'all want to build, let's do this. Y'all want to do something positive, let's do this. The one thing I'm not about though is gossip. Like y'all can keep that, and I'm thankful that nobody brings that low frequency type of information to me anyway. But y'all want to build on something real, get at me. It don't matter. And when I open up the Healing House, y'all come through. We'll have meditation. We're going to have that black table talk. We're going to talk candidly, and we're going to talk real. We're going to respect each other. We're going to love each other, because that is how we put out these fires. We put it out with water. Not like how I used to, fire with fire. You know what I mean? You come at me aggressive, and I'm ready to, like, pop it off. I ain't coming with that type of energy. I'm going to examine the fact that you hurt. I ain't going to let you play with me. but I'm gonna examine the fact that you hurt, and I'm gonna love you if you let me. But that's all I want to say, y'all. I love y'all. Like real talk, I love y'all, and I'm here for y'all, and I just hope that y'all be here for me. That's it, madam.
Man, first
Great
of all,
job,
give me a
Queen.
hug.
Love you, Queen.
Love you.
Love you, super. Love you, madam. I'm gonna just
Well,
hold still.
yeah. I ain't defense. I guess I can't hug today.
Yeah.
It's so good. I owe you a hug.
See,
I owe you a hug.
yeah, you owe me a hug.
All right, yo, can we give it up for Queen? Seriously, man.
Hey.
I couldn't think of a better way to end the season with what you just
smacking?
gave us, right?
Somebody hands
Like-
are dusty as hell.
Healing House, the Healing House, the Healing House, the Healing House. We're all
Nah, I'm dead.
going to be part of the Healing House. We are all walking in the journey to our own personal healing houses, right? We can be in pain. We cannot stay in pain. It is okay to be in pain. You cannot stay in pain. And the way out is to following the light to love, right? Because you
That's a
can't
fact.
have dark spaces when there's love around. You just can't. And nobody can control the amount of love you give or get but yourself, right? Love yourself first, right? When you're on a plane goes down. What they tell you, put your oxygen mask on first before you help somebody else. Love yourself. And Queen is a perfect example that there is retribution, there's second chances, there's awakenings that you go through because it's not over till it's over, man. It is not over till it's over. It's only over when you quit. So do not quit. There's hope. So, Queen, I am honored to be in your presence. I seriously am. The energy you bring into a room, the serenity, the peace that people feel around you is infectious. As you can see, you filled out 3 servers over and over and over again. Like that's not by chance. It's not by coincidence. It's by love. And I thank you for being our guest tonight.
Thank you.
Any parting words? You want to give your social media again before we roll?
Same name as the tag. Instagram, the 504 Queen Bee. And you can follow the Healing House where I'll be giving you know, that healing guru type of energy. You know what I mean? Because I'm a spiritual woman, spiritual gangster. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to always give you stories from how I lived it, how I saw it. So it may come out raw, it may come out real gritty, but it's going to always come from a place of love. And I just want us to elevate. So at Healing House _VR. And anytime you see me in the metaverse, you can pull up on me. Like straight up. So that's it.
And on that note, I don't know what else to say. That's the perfect way to end the season. So seriously, I want to thank everybody for taking the time, sticking around. I know it was a long session, but it was absolutely worthwhile. Now I've got to go clean off my Oculus because I'm almost sure again it's not waterproof. But listen, man, I want to ask one question. Like who honestly, when you put this thing on for the first time, expected to get the stuff that we're going through right now?
Nope,
Like
I
it was
didn't.
advertised as a toy, right? It was never advertised. It was never advertised to have these interactions because these are real people behind these headsets, right? We're not AI, we're not robots. We are real people with real issues, with real anxieties who are seeking real solutions, right? So don't ever forget about that as you interact with people because you never know what type of space somebody's in and you don't want to be responsible for taking that person to a space where they can't come back from. So remember that.
Be
Love
sensitive.
everybody, talk to everybody. All that
Love,
beef, all
not
that
war.
competition shit, like
That's all.
listen, I'll tell you something. I talk to everybody. And my favorite button right now is a block button. I can't save everybody. It's not my job to save everybody, right? So if someone is coming into my space and they're not bringing the type of energy that I need to make me function to help other people, I don't have room for them in my space. Like my heart is only so big. So my block button works, and they're going to go and curate their own spaces, and they'll be safe there. They're just not going to be in my space. My space is dope. Look at the people I'm surrounding myself with. I'm good, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, you are the curator of your own spaces, right? You have to decide What is your positive energy? What is your battery that's going to keep you going? I got 2 AA batteries in these controllers. What is your battery that's going to keep you going, that you can power somebody else to do something great, where you can be that beacon of light they can follow? That's serious. That's super serious. But just love people, man. That's the way to start. So, season's over. Thank y'all for coming out. You ain't got to go home. You ain't even got to leave. But I appreciate y'all. We're going to be off for the next couple of weeks. You're more than welcome to hang out, network, politic.
Tell them where to find to watch the videos at.
Yes, you tell me.
So videos for the Meta Talks will drop every Friday on my YouTube channel, and then when Rupert gets his YouTube channel up there too,
Yes, thank
same
you.
thing there too. So my YouTube will be super, and every Friday it'll drop a YouTube video of the Meta Talks.
And that's
All
why we pay
right.
Soup the big bucks. Thank you, Soup. I appreciate that. Self promotion is not good for me. I'm sorry, but I appreciate you. Thanks
Meta?
very much.
Yo,
Yo,
can I get you for literally 60 seconds?
Yeah,
I know you
sure.
keep your lenses.
Damn.
Where was